least is qualified under that, so I'm going to have to go with Hut as well. And now let's find out exactly how that game is going to be going as we witness the clash of two titans. In one corner, the Australian sensation. In the other corner, the Spanish omelette. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 4 in the first series of the August monthly finals. This is a best of 7. And today we've got an English mirror for you on the south side of the map, playing in the color blue. It's Vortix.
And on the other side, one game up against Vortix is going to be Hut, in command of the English as well, just like his opponent. The map is Holy Islands, a map that you're more than familiar with, Aussie, because if we go back in time a couple of months, you did run a custom map making content, and this was one of the best submissions of that tournament or of that competition, made by Adney, ended up winning the entire contest, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he came first, and he also got third as well. He came first and third in the map-making contest. He made a lot of great maps. And so, yes, this was what came first. What came third was Frisian Marshes, another very popular map that we did see throughout the Road to Red Bull Wololo. So, yeah, Adney, a great map maker, has put together a lot of good competitive stuff and has kept iterating on Holy Island until it's become the holy map that it is right now. It is a very good map. I think a lot of the top players do like this map just because of the open nature of it. It also blends in water quite effectively. And you don't necessarily lose the game if you do lose water on this map. But one of the things to note, though, is you do occasionally get the Giga Chad spawn. It is the 6 relic spawn that we've got today.
Oh, there it is, the 6th relic spawn. Indeed, there are still some wacky things with the map generation tool, so sometimes that happens. Being honest, at least it's very fair. So if you take a look at the spawn, this couldn't be more fair when it comes to relics. So I don't think either of these players would complain about any of those relics spawning in. It is what it is. Adney's maps have some classic style, and one of those is being oversaturated with specific stuff. Sometimes relics, but even more so with sheep. So it's fitting for the British meta, or English meta rather, to have so many sheep scattered all across the map.
Yeah, who needs sheep when you're British? We got fishing boats that, by the way, since the change to the English, we've actually seen their fishing boats reduced in price. So they now only cost 67 wood compared to the typical cost, which is 75.
Exactly, it's a nice little boost for English on hybrid maps, and for this reason, they're not as bad as many would think they would be. Also, you do have a bit of a discount on your galleys, and keep in mind that they also changed the way that the civilization bonus and the technology, the Admiralty, plays. So back in the days, you had 1 extra range, but the discount was a tech that you could research. Now, the discount is something that you get as the Civ bonus, and you have a technology for the +1 range in Feudal Age for the English. So they flipped around the Civ bonus and the technology, making the English a little bit more competitive on these hybrid maps.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be a pretty good change by the devs. I'm a big supporter of it, just simply because it means that you're actually using your Civ bonus and your upgrade. Before, people would just neglect it. No one would get that upgrade. You know, why am I going to invest all these resources in an upgrade to reduce the cost of my ships when I can just make the ship itself? And that's exactly what people did. But we've got a single scout opening from both of these players. Doesn't seem like any early shenanigans have gone on too crazily. Double dock opening from, or a dock opening from both of these guys. Nothing too crazy yet, Litter.
Yeah, nothing at all. Very passive, very similar opening to one another. Neither of them want to miss out on the timing of Feudal Age by going for a second scout. You don't even need to, because on this map, the sheep spawn is rather predictable. Usually, most of them spawn around your TC, so you're probably better off just having your 1 standard scout, gather your sheep, and give up the 1 that is on the side of the opponent. You don't need to go greedy here, because if you go for a second scout, you might end up missing out on the Feudal Age timing, and that could have deadly consequences in the water fight.
Second dock now coming down for Hut. A little bit of difference in these openings all of a sudden. Second dock definitely indicating that Hut is meaning business. Looks like it's going to be Council Halls coming down from both players. No real surprises there as the second dock also gets dropped down from Vortix. So we're going to have a very heavy fight out on the water, I suspect, in this game. With just dashings on the land. You guys, you know how it goes, Lidicore. They just push out with 2 spears, 2 longbows, but I don't even think they'll bring spears to the party here. There's no need. It's just going to be longbow mania.
Yeah, it's going to be longbow mania, and we talked about how terrific the micro was from both of these players in the games that they played beforehand. This one, micro is going to be important with the longbows, but macro even more so. You will have to focus a lot on your galley fights on the water, also fixing your eco, of course. And off the back of that, you also have to focus on the land engagements because you will try to apply some pressure on the opponent's goal to slow him down when it comes to galley production. So a lot of places to pay attention to, and we could possibly see scenarios where a player simply doesn't notice a couple of his villagers being picked off because he's focusing elsewhere.
Yeah, that's a big factor. Typically on this map, there's a lot of different angles that you're going to be attacked on because it is so open. As you can see, one of the key factors on this design, or the design of this map, as we speed up a little bit, is the large forest that is behind the players' town centers. All the central part is open. There's a little bit of a forest out over towards that edge of the map, but every other bit of forest is behind the TC, and that is specifically designed to keep it open. And now, Hart looking to drop down an outpost on his gold mine. He knows how serious it is to lose or to maintain control of this this gold mine.
Exactly. Looks like he's not going very heavy on the longbow production either, but he spotted longbows coming in from his opponent, and we could see him just trying to be defensive on the land with defensive towers and focusing all his attention towards the water. Just like any other hybrid map, balancing water and land investments over here is critical. But because Vortix was a little faster to Feudal Age and he's pushing with longbows, Hut kind of has to be the defender because he can't expect to be matching the numbers of Hut or Vortix on the water and on the land at the same time, given how much slower he was to Feudal.
Well, that outpost looks like it's going to be coming up as the longbow makes its way in. Vortix going to be happy. Just a little bit of an earlier age up means that he's going to be able to force an outpost out from his enemy. But now it looks like he might be doing a little bit of a waddle up towards the north side and find himself an opening from that angle instead. But now galley on galley action. It's the classic English matchup that you love to see. The galley on galley, but remember the defender always going to have the advantage in this game, in this matchup, just simply because of the healing of the dock together with the slow time it takes to move across the map. So the defender will always have the advantage.
And this is what I would love to see from Hut. He could just have the defender's advantage, and it looks like he's playing for that too, adding a stable over here, which could come as a surprise for Vortix. Vortix doesn't really have the chance to push him on water at the beginning, although he wants to. He is going for Admiralty, so there is the extra range upgrade that we talked about beforehand. But behind this, Hut is just going to try and focus on land a little bit more. Looks like the two... Oh, they spot each other.
Oh, they spotted each other, but they ignored each other, and this is a good thing for Hut because he's got the number disadvantage, so it means he's going to be forcing his enemy back here. Now, keep in mind, he's also got docks there ready to go, and Admiralty does come through. And now the offense begins for Hut. Let's see if Vortix falls for this and whether he turns around to deal with this or whether he looks to try and take out his enemy's fishing economy as well. It's a little bit of an indecision. He's just splitting them out. He's found a couple of fishing boats. Now all of a sudden the response from Hut is going to be looking to try and bring his own galleys up to respond.
He's basically gambling on the fact that even though he's going to lose his entire fishing eco, his opponent is going to do the same, but he's got horsemen on the battlefield, so he could swing the battle in the favor in his favor on land. Still, though, you get the feel that if Vortix wins the water like he seems to be able to right now, he could rebuild those fishing ships and it would be a different story. Hut could also lose one of his galleys over here rather quick.
Yeah, I think he tried to repair that galley, but it may have been a bit of a misclick. You can see the fishing boats just sort of chilling out and minding their own business, but now trying to force back the first galley. He's going to be successful. Second galley going to be taken out. It's the first one to go back towards the other side of the map. We can see that heals have come out for the fishing boats. He's managed to pick them off. The galley remains at pretty decent health and now going to be falling back away from this position. I'm starting to wonder if Admiralty came in a little bit too early here.
It's a good question, actually, because the numbers... Well, actually, no. If you look at the numbers, it's 4 versus 4, so it's not like it had an impact on the number of warships available to Vortix.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's managed to pick off both players losing one apiece now. Trying to hold on. My lord, look how much damage comes out on that fishing boat. The galleys just absolutely shred through this, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the best value for your dollar in Feudal Age when it comes to combat ships, so you definitely want to respect those on the water. And it looks like both of them will. So, despite the fact that we have seen a rather small expansion towards water initially from Hut, it looks like now he's going to commit quite a lot to that. Up to 5 galleys he is.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll watch to see how it unfolds as now we've got some horsemen going to be running in underneath the gold mine, but fortunately, the English bell gives you a very natural advantage against raids. As soon as you hear that bell going off, you 100% know that your enemy is looking to raid you or do some damage.
Still, it's idle time we're talking about, and that is probably what HUD is playing for. If you can idle some of those gold miners or even the lumberjacks, it's going to make it much easier for you to take over water. Let's see, Villager Rebellion now coming in here, horsemen falling from their saddles in a blink of an eye. 2 horsemen will not be satisfactory there.
Definitely not, but how about 6 of the world's best galleys up towards the north? Admiralty still yet to come in just yet, but it is on the way through. And now a little bit of a raid on the wood line on the other side of the map. Vortix being very sneaky, very cheeky up against that double stable opening.
But he doesn't seem to notice the gold miners being slain. We talked about this one. So many places to pay attention to. His gold miners are being wrecked right now.
Yeah, things starting to really get a little bit chaotic on this map. And now pushing out plenty of galleys here. He's got to be careful not to run these bad boys in. Where's he going? He's just looking to do a bit of a run by a chase down. He's taken out plenty of hits, and now he turns around and looks to focus down a single galley. I can't help but feel it might be a slight overextension from HUD, and this could cost him the game. A single lapse in attention, and now all of a sudden those galleys just going to be absolutely shredded apart. He looks to try and take at least one for his hard work. Do we have a dock on that other side? I saw the fishing boats moving away. It looked like there might have been a dock on the island. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, there seems to be none. Probably was just pulled away from combat. But yeah, big difference between the two players. Vortix does have the additional sails on his ships, so micro is much easier for him. That's something that HUD is lacking, and part of the reason why HUD just got out-microed so heavily on the water like that is because he didn't expect his opponent to have sails already.
Yeah, well, villagers helping out once again on this backside. Looks like the horsemen going to be able to clean up the longbowmen, at least try their best against those the spearmen, and indeed clear up this raid. But now we do a little bit of an assessment, and both players sitting on 43 villagers at this point. Economy is looking pretty decent, pretty fair, but HUD seems about halfway up to castle.
Exactly, that's a difference maker here. Vortix is out of food, I think because he had to pull so many fishing ships back, and ever since HUD broke out of his base, and ever since Vortix had to address those land-based attacks, HUD's fishing ships have been working non-stop, and I think that's the big difference maker over here. And that could possibly propel him to a slightly faster castle, and that would be a massive power spike. A couple of men-at-arms, couple of knights, or even a hawk could easily swing the battle in his favor, either on land or on water.
Do we have extended nets coming in for HUD? This is a rare upgrade to see coming through, and yeah, it's not something that you always see players go for. Yeah, it's going to be extended lines coming through for him. So it's an expensive upgrade, 175 gold for this one, but definitely worth it when you've got this many fishing boats.
It shows confidence from him. It shows that he believes he can win water. He wouldn't be getting that upgrade if he ever felt concerned that Vortix can push him away from water. So right now, this tells us that HUD knows that he can, and he, in his perception, will win water, or at least keep his fishing ships alive for a long time for that upgrade to pay for itself.
Now got Wheelbarrow coming through from HUD. He's also going to be adding in a nice long wall over on that right side of his base. But look at the forces moving out for Vortix. You know, you were just talking about HUD having confidence that he can hold water. He is down a significant amount of boats on the water. As we take a look up towards that north side, I want to see the boats. They're looking to open and clash against each other. At the same time, towards the south, they've got an attack coming in. Vortix outnumbering HUD by a mile here, Lidakor. Is there any way he's able to hold on to this?
It's gonna be difficult because you have so many combat ships here for Vortix that he can almost one-shot those galleys. So the dock repair, it's not gonna be a big factor actually. If you can keep focusing down ships, it's gonna come down to micro, whether you can pull back the injured ships. And look at that, Vortix is doing a monstrous job with that. He's taking over the water, and that is in a decisive fashion.
But at the same time, we've got raids on both bases for these players. They know exactly what to do, but things not looking good for HUD. This could be a good game right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. It might not seem like a big deal, but when both players are on 1 TC this early in the game, and you're up to or going to be losing your entire economy on the water, this is absolutely huge. There's so many boats out here. You've already invested a massive amount. Vortix in an incredibly good position right now.
Yeah, he's in a great position, and you see HUD is going to sacrifice the horsemen to idle those villagers a little bit more, and it looks like he's not even trying to get back onto the water. No more galleys queued up for him. Instead, he wants to go into Castle Age, acknowledging that he won't be able to get back on water. Instead, we'll try to pivot towards land-based deco with likely the King's Palace being seen very soon.
So what's the best way for Hut to get into this game right now? Because he is 100, well, not 100% out of it. If I had a scale of percent chance to win, I'd be putting Vortix at about 90% chance to win this game.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that. Right now, Vortix has momentum. The chance for Hut is to get to Castle Age quickly. He needs to get to Castle quickly, so he's gonna be able to compensate for a fishing eco difference with the King's Palace, and then get some knights out, do some land-based damage. That's his win condition, but he can't afford things like this, for example, happening. His villagers being slain in the dozens.
Yeah, this isn't pretty, and the villager count really starting to dwindle for him. He's down to 44 compared to Vortix on 52. Still looking to try and get up to that Castle Age, but nowhere near enough food, and obviously losing out a lot of villagers, or rather fishing boats on water, is going to hurt him a lot. Now we see the palings coming down. The longbow's looking to hold on in the pocket. Villagers moving forward together with the enemy longbows, and it looks like it's going to be cleaned up once again over on this position, but things not looking the best for Hut.
This is a perfect diversion by Vortix because, as you said, Hut needs to get to Castle, but he needs to spend a ton of food, something that he doesn't really have right now, to make more horsemen. And it looks like he's actually working towards stone. What is he up to? Is he thinking about the keep?
No, I think he might be just going... Oh, actually, that was a lot of villagers on stone, wasn't it?
Like, why would you go for a second TC if you have the King's Palace? He's going to drop it right now, unless it's second TC and King's Palace, but I feel that's a little greedy right now.
Wait, what if he goes for a forward white tower and a keep straight away? No, it's second TC. Hut going second TC and a King's Palace. Still. This could work. I do like this play. I think this can definitely work to keep him in the game. The only issue he's going to have is that if Vortix looks to utilize the water to its full potential, if there's trade on the water, I don't see how Hut could come back from that.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up, because the thing is that fish is going to drop in efficiency. This is something that many pro players say. As you sail further away from the shoreline, your fishing eco is going to be less and less reliable. So being able to transition to land-based food eco is going to pay dividends, and you see Hut even has something to say about that fishing eco with a sneaky villager. But the thing is that Vortix, he can't fully rely on the fishing eco by itself, and this is a vulnerability that Hut could exploit. But instead, Hut wants to go for a very eco-heavy approach. King's Palace as well for him, alongside the second TC he already added.
I do like this for Hut. I think this is definitely the right choice and a wise choice. I'm loving that cute little the cute little dock that he's got down to the south as he looks to add in a second dock, because right now Vortix is in his mind, he's like, yeah, okay, I want water. We're good. Yeah, that's the reality. So he could look to potentially wipe out that fishing economy in one foul swoop. We'll have to see how he plays it, though, because there's a lot of fishing boats out there to kill. That's for sure.
Exactly, and honestly, if Vortix is going to lose his fishing eco here to Hut's forward, it's actually much worse for him than it is right now. Right now he's up by 14 eco, but most of that is fish. And you see, Hut is going to be on 3 TCs as compared to 2, so Hut could have the eco advantage in the next few minutes, especially if he's doing raids like that.
Is it going to be demo ships? No, it's going to be hulks that are coming out for him, so he's looking to make a bit of a dent in the economy and try and stop that not that expansion, but rather that huge economic swing that we are seeing at the moment. It's just going to be Vortix climbing. You can see the food income for him. It's sitting at 750, which is a beautiful amount. Compare that to Hut, who's sitting on 220. Things are really not looking good for him.
Yeah, he needs to start adding farms over here, but in the long run, it's going to help him because, as we discussed, fishing eco is going to get worse and worse, so farms will help out a lot. But I love how he's torching on a lumber camp, just making sure that Vortix is having as hard of a time accessing wood as possible, because keep in mind that he will need it to make new hulks now that Hut is pushing him on water. Plus, if he gets pushed off from water, he needs to make farms, so cutting him off from wood is actually really valuable here.
Second Hulk coming in as well for Hut. Very, very sneaky. Let's take a look at the northern shore. I want to see exactly where Vortix has got all of his galleys positioned, because he's got 5 galleys out, but just remember, Hulks do very, very well against galleys.
And they are on the shoreline. They have no idea.
Well, this is going to be tough. This is a way back in for Hut. He's definitely found a way. Now, remember, he's invested a lot of resources in these town centers. He's training triple villagers. So there is the potential that he dies within the next couple minutes here to a land-based push. But at the same time, he's going to be forcing his enemy to invest more resources into water, because he's going to be looking to challenge that water position.
I'm concerned for Hut. I think he's over-investing into Hawks. He's getting to Hawk number 4 right now without any result for it, and you see, he's being pushed on land because of that. The consequence of investing into water so much is that he's gonna get pushed on land, and he didn't need 4 Hawks right now. I think 2 would have done the job just enough and forced Vortix to make a move. it's too big of an investment, and you see he's just now about to get the return value for it.
Yeah, this is very creative from him. Let's look to see how it plays out. But he is getting cleaned up on land. A huge amount of longbows as well as knights going in underneath that town center. But now all of a sudden, the power of Hut is going to be realized. Let's see if he's able to clean up that water position. I guess my question is, how does he hold on land, though? Because that gold mine looks like it's been drained completely. The second one is being idled. He's going to need to find an alternative source of gold as he continues to try and hold on. But now that town center going to be firing down its double arrows, as it is English. And look at that. We got quadruple barracks getting dropped down here for Vortix.
Hut has not a single land-based unit out there. This is why I was so concerned about those Hawks. It's such a heavy investment, and sure thing, now you idle half of Vortix's fishing eco, but Vortix has just enough on land to push you, and as much as you idle his fish, your own land-based eco is gonna be idled by those knights and the archers. Hut, another Hawk being added. I feel like it's an overcommitment to water now.
It definitely feels that way. You know, what he needs right now is just a keep. A keep in the middle of his base would just be able to hold on for the moment. But yeah, this is unfortunate for Hut because he's investing heavily on water when in reality his enemy's got no real way to come back on the water. It's been the little bit of a reverse-a-roo, or the reverse sweep. You know, one player having 100% control of water and then switching it around.
And Hut is unaware of the man-at-arms switch right now. That's the biggest concern for him. He's yet to figure out what's coming his way. All he sees is a handful of longbows. Maybe he thinks his opponent will try to get back on water. And if Vortix is patient and he waits with his men-at-arms, he could easily surprise his opponent even more. And the longbows are just enough to deny that gold from Hut. It's painful for Hut now, falling behind an eco even more.
Yeah, we still are yet to see this keep. Vortix actually going to have 800 stone in the bank.
Yeah.
He could think about his own keep.
Yeah, look at all the minerals in the middle, actually. He could keep drop the big gold and deny the small one as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of good spots for it out here. Let's see if he brings villagers out here for it, though. He continues to cross that threshold up to 880, and now looking to clean up the rest of the water. And the men-at-arms have been exposed. Hut now going to be seeing that. He's collecting stone of his own. It's actually quite a bit of villagers he's got on stone. Let's see if we can find those. I'm curious to spot exactly how many he's got. It looks like it might be about 12 or 13 villagers on stone. Yeah, over towards the east side. No, it's just going to be a handful of them, only 6. He's moving more now, but he needs to get a keep up, and it needs to be up yesterday. He's going to be losing this second TC on the front side. It seems almost certain at this point.
Yeah, it seems almost certain. In fact, he's forfeiting that, but he's also forfeiting map control right now, allowing his opponent to pick up the relics. And you see, Hut just has nowhere to go. He's running circles around his TCs with the villagers because he's being idled. He doesn't have a land-based army. He's up to 5 knights, slowly building up his numbers, but as you said, he needs a defensive keep yesterday because Vortix is coming in with an aggressive one.
Yeah, this could be very, very difficult for Hut to hold. Keep in mind, English keeps have the ability to train siege from them. So it means that, you know, typically, let's say, you know, the Delhi drop a forward keep, they drop a siege workshop behind it. Not going to be the case here for the English. They've just got everything that they need in that keep already.
And it's also going to expand the network of castles bonus for Vortix. So not only is going to be Hut under the influence of that, and you would assume he would have the defender's advantage, once that keep goes up, it's going to be even when it comes to the attack bonuses, because Vortix is going to have his own boost too.
Yeah, let's see if he can hold on to it. He's got a handful of knights underneath the town center, just 6 of them. He's continuing to build them. 21 men-at-arms, 22 men-at-arms now for Vortix. Still just quite a few spearmen, and he's going to get some decent charges off here. I suspect he'll be just looking to avoid fighting for the moment, just with the numbers that high. You'd want to avoid fighting, just getting those charges off, but now he's going to be spotting down that keep. Once that keep comes up, it becomes very difficult for Hut to move forward from this position. Still holding on.
Mangonel.
Yeah, the Mangonel might be able to switch it around, but so many...
He could kill the Veils.
There it is. It's over on the left side of the screen.
Veils.
He's moving. Yeah, here he goes. Here he goes.
Whoop, whoop.
If he targets the corner, first shot comes in. Hits a lot of those villagers, but now the men-at-arms going to be running as fast as they can towards that position. He splits up the villagers, gets off a nice little charge here on the men-at-arms as well. As the men-at-arms turn their attention towards the council hall, more men-at-arms sweeping in from the back. Looks like the majority of the villagers do go down. He's done a pretty decent job to stop it. Let's see if the knights decide to move up as well. They should be looking to try and take out the villagers. Indeed, they do. Villagers, unfortunately, going to have to fall back from the wood line. There's just chaos everywhere in the base of Hut right now. This isn't looking good for him. Lidakor, is there any way that he holds this position?
I don't see it. He is down by like 30, 40 army. He stopped the key, but he had to sacrifice his entire eco for that. The king's pass is being torched down, villagers being slain left and right. Look at that pile of dead bodies out there. Hut down to 69 eco, soon to be down to 40 at this pace. only has 4 knights to defend with. The first wave of villagers were killed from Vortix, the second one will finish the keep, and I just don't see how Hut stops this with only 3 knights left in his army.
Yeah, it seems almost certain at this point, despite controlling the entirety of the water, that Hut will be losing this 4th game in the series. I tell you what, for a best of 7, this one definitely looks like it might go the distance, Litter, but Hut is holding on for the moment. That keep is about to go up, and once that keep gets up, it seems almost guaranteed 99.999% recurring, of course, chance of a Vortix victory.
Indeed, in fact, one of the landmarks is already taken down, and Hut, he has a defensive castle on the gold mine right now, but that's not something Vortix should care about. He can torch down the remaining landmarks and win the game automatically. Though, let's be honest, at this point, any moment we could see Hut tap out, because his chances of survival are, as you said, minimal. In fact, next to none.
Yeah, I feel like it all just goes back to the water, and indeed, good game does get called. It's going to be Hut tapping out. Vortix winning the 2nd game in this grand final series.
Great game over here by Vortix, but really it came down to the balance of water and land. Hut, he wanted to take over water. He had such a 5-head move, dropping those double docks, but the investment was massive. Double docks and 5 hawks just to smash 15 fishing ships. All in a while, he sacrificed everything he had on the land. Priorities lied at different places for the players, and it has shown. Vortix, he went on land when he had to go on land, whereas for Hut, he decided to go on water when in reality he needed to push more on land, and in the end he got punished on land for that, overrun by men-at-arms. Vortix once again evens this out, and as you said, this could easily go to game number 7 over here. An interesting setting because in the last half a year of Age of Empires 4 history, Vortix almost always lost the close sets that he has played, usually ending up in 4-3 losses.
Yeah, very interesting to hear that. I mean, the matchup or the series so far has just been an absolute blast. These games have been very close, and it's been an incredibly exciting series. You know, very often in a series you will see a game that, you know, you've got walls going up across the middle of the map. The game goes for 40 minutes. There hasn't been a single unit traded. That is not these games. These are high octane, high action games.